How's it? Today we are taking our pictures and we're editing them. See how you see this black area right here, right here? We're gonna get rid of that. We do not want things like that. We're gonna edit up our pictures and touch them up. So you're gonna go in and make sure it's a full body shot. You notice how it might not be cropped right. This has to be white. This is like maybe it's not so white to you. If it is very white, that's great, like this. That will work better. But let's go just touch up our shots in Photoshop. So open Photoshop up and open up your image in Photoshop. And first thing you're gonna do is crop. So go ahead and take the selection tool and crop as tightly as needed, and hit image crop and Command D to deselect. And notice the default is locked, so we're going to double click the layer and unlock it. And next we're going to basically bring up the white. So we're going to go to image adjustments and we're going to go to brightness and contrast. So I'm going to bring up the brightness a little bit, bring up the contrast as well, so it's a little bit contrast like that. If it looks a little bit different, it's okay. Because if you notice, you can't really tell the colors anyway, so it should be okay. So we brought up the brightness and contrast. You can make other changes as well. For example, I'm going to go to threshold, and in the threshold, this is basically changing your blacks and your whites. So you can decide like how much black, how much white, and so on. Okay, so I think I'm going to keep it, okay, something like that, and so on. Now if you don't like how it's turning out, and maybe it's just the blacks meshing and part of your face is disappeared and you don't want that, you may want to retake that picture. So that was before and that's after. And again, you can Photoshop and edit it out. So after you have it saved, go to File and Save As, and I'm going to save it to your Google Drive for that. And that was a Photoshop file, which is good to save, and then File, Save As, and JPEG. And maximum quality, and that's good. Now, what you're going to do is open up Illustrator. Okay, go ahead and name your file musician and your name, so who it is. What we're going to do is we are going to have 4.75 inches. And it's going to be a square, so 4.75 inches, and that's that many millimeters. And I convert it. If you want to change it to inches, there you go. Now, what you're going to do is go to Advanced and change this to C1K to RGB, because we're going to be uploading these to the web as well as printing them. Make sure that's high 300 DPI, and we are good to go. So hit OK, and it should create a new document. So first of all, we need to insert our image. So go ahead and go to File, Place. And then in File, Place, go ahead and select it like so, and double click, and you can place it and hold on the Shift key, and we're going to resize it. Hold on the Shift key, resize, and hold on the Option and scroll, and you can kind of zoom out and get a better feel for it. So put that right in the middle like so. There we go. And now we're going to trace. So to trace, we're going to go up here to the Essentials and change that to Tracing. Okay, and now we got our tracing bar right here. So we are going to choose Mode Black and White. Threshold, remember in Photoshop, we talked about threshold with the graph, and you can again change that up or down according to how much you want it to be fine in detail. The higher the number, the more detail. Less detail is there. Go ahead and hit Advance. Go ahead and click on Strokes, We can change that later. Hit ignore white because we want the white background to disappear. And make sure it's on black and white, tracing results, and we hit trace. And we don't want to show it again, that's okay. Do it, trace. Now hopefully after it's done tracing, it gets a result that you like. If it's not exactly what you like, you can go ahead and change some of the thresholds like so. So if I can move this over, it'll adjust a little bit to maybe make it more manageable the way you want it. You can also adjust the paths and round the corners and noise right here. The strokes, you can change the strokes that it uses, so I can put that down to 7, and you'll notice the strokes will change within the image as well. So again, get to what you want it to be, and once you have the image the way you want, go ahead up here and hit expand. And what that is it's going to create basically editable points, and now it's a vector, like so. Now if there's things you want to edit, like I don't think her mouth is like that, so you hit A on the keyboard for that arrow, and you can go ahead and click, and if you click it twice at a spot, you can actually move these points around, or you can just hit twice and you can delete that. So notice it didn't do a really good job with this. I might want to edit this a little bit. And if you delete something you didn't want, just undo that. But you'll definitely need to edit some of the things to make it look more realistic. And like I said, you can go through, like if there's a random line that you don't want, you can do that. And so just go through and get it how you need it to be. And again, if it's not how you like it, you're just not satisfied, just post this and maybe retake that image, and now you better understand how the threshold will work in taking that out. Then what you're going to need to do is create a background color. So just have the rectangle tool or square. Choose a color in your color scheme, and don't just pick the color, but basically put in the color codes as is, like the RGB color codes, or you should have it saved. And then hit Command Shift left bracket and put it behind. And make sure that it's nothing there. Don't make it too dark of a color. So maybe choose the lighter of your color scheme for that background. For that. Okay, so now we're done preparing the image, and then later you'll be continuing to edit the image to finish it like so.